Hi kids, it's Pimmy again. Are you ready to have some fun? I sure am. Let's see who we color today. This time I got Thor. So let's get started. What are you gonna color with today? I'm gonna use my colored pencils again. I think this time I'm gonna start with blue. Let's use a dark blue. Just like this. And we're gonna use this to color in the Avengers symbol. The big A they have right here on the side. And always coloring on paper. Try to stay inside the lines and to color it in as good as possible. And using colored pencils is my favorite thing to color with. What's your favorite? Now we got that A colored in. Let's do the circle over here that goes around the A. Let's make this look the same way we do the A for the Avengers. So we're gonna make this part of it blue too. Just like that. Make all those parts blue. Then I think we'll be done with blue for now. So that will give us one blue. B L U E. Blue. And that's our first one done. Now let's do Thor's cape. And let's try to make Thor look like he does in the cartoons this time. So that means his cape should be red. So that's what we're gonna use the red on. Right here, just like that. And try to stay inside the lines, only coloring the cape. And always only coloring on paper. And then his hat does this silly little notion, has its little point on top, huh? It does this silly move to get a point. And everything behind it in that little area is his cape. And then we'll get this part of his cape over here. And I think this is some of his cape right here too. So we're gonna color that in. Just like that. And that gives us 1 red. R-E-D. Red. Now let's pick a color for his hat. And his hat is made out of steel, so it should be a silver or a gray color. So we're gonna try to find one of those. There we go. We found silver. So we're gonna use that one for his hat. Like this. For the wings on the side. And then we get the other side. We gotta color that in silver too. And then we've got to get the rest of his helmet, above his eyes, and all the way to the cape. But I don't want to color the cape silver, and that's why I gotta stay inside my lines. And then I think this is his armor too, so that'll be silver. And I want to make the rest of his armor silver too, because it should all be made out of metal. So we'll color all this silver down here. But I don't want to color it in too much, because I want to add more colors to it later. And if I use too much in it now, we won't be able to get the other colors to go in there with it. And then this part of your shirt down here, and this part over here, those are silver. And I just noticed this little spot that's the same as this one right here, but on his other hand. So now that's all silver. So that gives us 1 silver. S-I-L-V-E-R. Silver. Now, let's try and pick a color to go with that silver we used. Because the silver is just a little too much of one color. So I think I'm gonna mix in a little bit of black. And I'm gonna do that in this spot where it comes around a little bit, just to make it a little darker on the edges of his armor. I don't want it to be too dark. I just want it to be a little bit darker than it already is. And that's why we didn't color too much with the silver. Just trying to stay inside my lines. Just takes practice to get better at doing. And we'll even do this outside portion on his helmet the same way we did that on his armor on his body. Those ones and this part of the helmet right there, just like that. I think that looks pretty good so far. And that gives us our 1 black color. B L A C K. Black. And I just decided I'm gonna use my red pencil again. We're gonna color in these little spots around the Avengers A and the circle around it with the red one. And I'm gonna do the circle and the A because I decided I wanted them to both be the same. That means I want them to match. And since they need to match, I have to do them both. And turning my drawing so that when I'm coloring it, it's just a little easier sometimes. Because sometimes it's harder to color things in if you've got to move your colored pencils or your crayons or your markers or even chalk in a different way. Sometimes one direction's just easier to work in than another. There we go. Now we used our red around that too. I think that looks pretty good so far. What do you think about it? Let's choose a color for Thor's pants. I think I'm going to make them brown pants. Just like this. Because we can use lots of colors for lots of things. But I think brown pants would make sense. And then I'm gonna make his belt brown too. But just a little bit. Because I'm gonna add that black to the pants too. That way, not to his pants. Silly goose. I'm gonna use it on the belt. That way the belt can be a little darker than the pants are. And that gives us one brown color. B R O W N. Brown. And then we gotta use our black one just to make it a little darker. So I'm gonna be really gentle and use the pencil very lightly, just so that it makes that brown a little darker. And then we'll make these circles silver, like the other ones. See? Can you see how that's just a little bit darker on his belt than his pants? It's pretty neat. The things that you can do with colors if you just want to be a little bit creative sometimes. Now let's choose a color for Thor's skin. I think I'm gonna try to find one that matches my skin a little bit. It won't be perfect, but I can probably get close. And so I'm gonna use this one. This one is called peach, like the fruit. Do you like peaches? I like peaches. I think peaches are very yummy, especially when you get a juicy peach. those are the best. Just try to stay inside the lines and only color parts that are Thor's skin, because that is what I'm trying to color now. I don't want to color the rest of it yet. And then this part is just a little sneaky around his hair and his armor. He's got a little bit of his neck and his chest showing there, but we could have missed them, and it was pretty close if we weren't paying super careful attention to what we were doing. There we go. That's all of Thor's skin, and that gives us one peach color. P-E-A-C-H. Peach. Now we need to color in Thor's hair. Let's use yellow, because Thor is blonde and yellow is the closest color we can get for that. And don't forget the eyebrows. They should be the same color as the hair. And that's one yellow. Y-E-L-L-O-W. Yellow. And now what do we want to make his hammer colored? I think we probably have those colors already. I think if we use our silver and our black colors, that we could make it look like a very strong metal hammer. So let's do that the same way we did these darker spots like this and that on Thor's armor. And we just made our silver a little light, but we colored in all the spots. So we're gonna color in all of Thor's hammer with our silver pencil. And not forget the handle. And then we come and use our black one to make it look just a little darker. But I want this side to look a little darker than the rest. So I'm going to do a little more on those parts and these parts because they're both the same. They're just on different sides. And this little ring that goes around the circle, I want to do the same way, as well as this one down here. And now I'll just very lightly add a little bit of black over the silver in the rest of the hammer, so that it's just a little bit darker than the silver was on its own. And then we've got to finish up the handle, just like that. That looks like it's a very strong hammer, doesn't it? Made out of lots of metal. Now, we need to pick colors for the background, for everything behind the picture. Let's pick a new fun color for this one. I think we'll use this one. This one is called green blue because they've made a mixture of blue and yellow that makes the blue green. But they use more blue in it than they use yellow in it. That way, it doesn't turn green as much as it turns blue. So if you look at this real carefully when I'm coloring it in, you can see that it looks blue, but there's just a little bit of green in there. It's kind of like what we did with that silver and black pencils to make the silver just a little bit darker. And again on the belt to make that brown a little bit darker. So we can color all those in. All around him. And we get a good amount of blue, green, because it's both colors. And now it's colored in. And we used one blue-green pencil. So this one is spelled B-L-U-E for blue. Then we put in green as well. And that is G-R-E-E-N. Green. That gives us one blue-green color. And because we used our black with our silver, that gave us one more silver color. So now we have one silver color plus one silver color because we used it here and got another color of silver. That equals two silver colors. And we did the same thing with the brown one. So we had one brown one and we added one more brown one. So that's two brown colors. So 1 plus 1 made 2. And when we're done, that means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, because we used 2 silvers, 5, and then 6, 7, because we used 2 browns, 8, 9, 10. We used 10 colors. COLORS. I hope you had as much fun coloring in Thor today as I did, because when I colored this one in, I had a whole lot of fun. So until next time, kids, bye-bye! Thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe down below.